States government is structured around three main branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. This design, rooted in the Constitution, ensures a system of checks and balances, preventing any one branch from gaining too much power. First, we have the legislative branch, which is primarily responsible for making laws. This branch is bicameral, consisting of two chambers: the Senate with 100 senators, and the House of Representatives, which has 435 members. Together, they debate and pass legislation, control federal spending, and have the power to declare war. Next is the executive branch, headed by the president. This branch is tasked with enforcing laws and administering the government. It includes the vice president, the cabinet, and numerous federal agencies. The cabinet consists of 15 departments, such as the Department of Defense and the Department of Education, each overseeing specific areas of public policy. Finally, we have the judicial branch, which interprets laws and ensures they comply with the Constitution. At its core is the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, along with lower federal courts. The judiciary has the power to review laws and executive actions, ensuring that they align with constitutional principles. Together, these branches work in concert to uphold democracy, protect individual rights, and maintain the rule of law in the United States. The executive branch is the most visible and powerful branch of the U.S. government, led by the president. As Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the president serves as the nation's top military leader, with the authority to deploy troops and wage war. But the president's role extends far beyond the battlefield. As chief executive, the president is responsible for enforcing and administering the law. Think of the president as the CEO of the federal government, overseeing a vast bureaucracy of agencies and departments. At the heart of this bureaucracy lies the cabinet, a group of advisors consisting of the vice president and the heads of 15 executive departments, such as the Department of State, Department of Defense, and Department of Education. The State Department, for example, is responsible for conducting foreign policy and protecting American interests abroad. Led by the Secretary of State, this department negotiates treaties, appoints ambassadors, and gathers intelligence to inform the president's decisions. Meanwhile, the Defense Department, under the leadership of the Secretary of Defense, is tasked with maintaining a strong military, capable of defending the nation against threats both foreign and domestic. But the executive branch is more than just the president and cabinet. It also includes a wide array of independent agencies, each with its own specific mission and area of expertise. Take the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, for instance. Established in 1970, the EPA is charged with protecting human health and the environment by enforcing laws like the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act. Led by an administrator appointed by the president, the EPA operates independently of the cabinet, allowing it to make decisions based on scientific evidence rather than political considerations. Another notable independent agency is NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Founded in 1958, NASA is responsible for the nation's civilian space program, conducting research and exploration that pushes the boundaries of human knowledge. From sending astronauts to the moon to launching powerful telescopes that peer into the depths of the cosmos, NASA's achievements have inspired generations of Americans and reminded us of the boundless potential of human ingenuity. And then there's the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency. As the nation's premier intelligence agency, the CIA gathers and analyzes information from around the world to help policymakers make informed decisions. Operating under the Director of National Intelligence, the CIA employs a vast network of spies, analysts, and support staff to monitor threats, track down terrorists, and provide early warning of potential crises. So while the president may be the most visible member of the executive branch, he or she is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface lies a vast and complex network of agencies and departments, each working to fulfill its unique mission and serve the American people. It's a system that may seem daunting at first glance, but one that has proven remarkably resilient and effective in meeting the challenges of a rapidly changing world. The legislative branch, embodied by the United States Congress, is the heart of American democracy. This bicameral institution, consisting of the Senate and the House of Representatives, is responsible for drafting, debating, and passing the laws that govern our nation. At the core of Congress lies the Senate, a body of 100 members, 2 from each state, who serve 6-year terms. The Senate is often referred to as the upper chamber, due to its more exclusive membership and longer terms. Senators are tasked with advising the president on treaties and confirming presidential appointments, from Supreme Court justices to cabinet members. They also have the sole power to try impeachment cases, serving as a check on the executive branch. The House of Representatives, on the other hand, is the lower chamber, with 435 members elected every 2 years from districts across the country. The number of representatives per state is based on population, ensuring that the most populous states have the greatest voice. The House is responsible for initiating revenue bills and impeaching federal officials, and its members are closer to the people, with shorter terms and more frequent elections. But Congress is more than just the sum of its parts. It is a complex web of committees and subcommittees, each specializing in a particular area of policy. These committees are the workhorses of Congress, conducting hearings, gathering evidence, and drafting legislation. From the powerful Appropriations Committee, which controls federal spending, to the Judiciary Committee, which oversees the courts and law enforcement, each committee plays a vital role in shaping the laws of the land. Two key legislative agencies that support the work of Congress are the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, and the Government Accountability Office, GAO. The CBO provides nonpartisan analysis of the budget and economic issues, helping lawmakers make informed decisions about spending and taxation. The GAO, on the other hand, is the investigative arm of Congress, auditing government agencies and programs to ensure accountability and efficiency. So while the president may be the face of the executive branch, it is Congress that holds the real power of the purse and the pen. From the halls of the Capitol to the committee rooms and legislative agencies, the legislative branch is the engine that drives the machinery of government, ensuring that the will of the people is reflected in the laws of the land. The judicial branch, anchored by the Supreme Court, serves as the guardian of the Constitution and the final arbiter of the law. This branch is tasked with interpreting the meaning of laws, applying them to specific cases, and ensuring that they do not conflict with the higher authority of the Constitution. The federal court system is a three-tiered pyramid with the Supreme Court at the apex. At the base are the district courts, where federal cases are first heard. There are 94 district courts across the country, each with its own jurisdiction. If a party is unsatisfied with the district court's ruling, they can appeal to one of the 13 courts of appeals, which review the legal issues raised in the case. But it is the Supreme Court that has the final say. Composed of 9 justices, including 1 Chief Justice, the Supreme Court stands as the ultimate interpreter of the Constitution. When the court grants a writ of certiorari, it agrees to hear a case, usually because it involves an important question of federal law or a potential conflict with the Constitution. During oral arguments, the justices grill the attorneys, probing the legal reasoning behind their positions. Behind the scenes, the justices engage in vigorous debate, often exchanging draft opinions as they strive to reach a consensus. When the court issues its ruling, it becomes the law of the land, binding on all lower courts. The Supreme Court's interpretations can have far-reaching consequences, shaping everything from civil rights to economic policy. In cases like Brown versus Board of Education, which struck down racial segregation in public schools, or Obergefell versus Hodges, which legalized same-sex marriage nationwide, the court has played a pivotal role in advancing social